The year was 2273. For almost a century, Earth had been part of the Galactic Peace Union, a network of 27 alien species living together in peace. Humans had finally left their old wars behind. They had cities on Mars, space stations around Saturn, and even small colonies near Alpha Centauri. Life was calm. Life was safe. At least, that's what everyone thought. Commander Sarah Vega stood on the bridge of the USS Horizon, Earth's most advanced deep space exploration ship. It was a massive vessel, built not for war, but for discovery. Sarah had spent her life chasing alien signals, mapping strange stars, and talking with alien diplomats. She never expected to face war. She wasn't trained for it, yet something strange had just happened. A deep space listening post near Zeta Prime had gone completely silent. No message. No distress signal. Just ... gone. And now, the Horizon had been sent to investigate. "Commander, we're entering the last known coordinates," said Ensign Malik, eyes fixed on the control screen. "Anything on the scanners?" Sarah asked, walking over. Malik shook his head. "Nothing. No debris. No power signals. Nothing at all. It's like the station never existed." That's when they saw it. A black shadow moved across the stars. Long, sharp, silent. It wasn't a meteor. It wasn't human. It was a ship, but unlike anything they had seen before. "Is it one of ours?" asked Lieutenant Hera, tightening her grip on the side rail. "No," Malik said, voice dry. "That thing is ... alien, and it's not broadcasting any identification codes." Sarah's heart pounded. "Hail them, now." The crew sent out message after message in every known alien language. There was no answer. Then, without warning, the strange ship turned, not away, towards them. It launched something. At first, it looked like a flash of light, but within seconds, alarm screamed, "Incoming!" The blast hit their shields and shook the ship. Systems crashed, lights flickered. Several consoles exploded with sparks, shields down to 30%. Hera shouted. Sarah was stunned. "We're being attacked." "Why? We did nothing." "They don't care," Malik said, "whoever they are. They want us gone." Sarah had no choice. Return fire. Full power. The Horizon fired its defense beams, but the alien ship was fast. It moved like liquid shadow, dodging every shot. It fired again, this time at the engines. The ship groaned. "We're losing power." The engineer shouted over the comms, "Retreat! Get us out of here!" Sarah yelled, but it was too late. The alien ship launched a final strike, hitting their main core. The Horizon went dark, spinning slowly in space. Sarah gasped as she saw escape pods launching in every direction. "Evacuate!" she screamed. "All crew to pods." As Sarah entered her pod, she looked one last time at the alien ship. It just floated there, watching. Like a predator who wasn't hungry anymore. Then it vanished, gone as quickly as it came. Back on Earth, the Council of Nations received the emergency signal. Only 17 crew members survived out of 142. The alien ship, now named Unknown Hostile, One had vanished into deep space. No one knew who they were. No one knew what they wanted. But Earth had just lost its most powerful ship, and something was clear now. Someone out there wanted war. For the first time in over 90 years, Earth declared a full military alert. The message was sent to every human colony: prepare for defense. We are not alone, and we are not safe. Somewhere beyond the stars, in a dark and cold system, thousands of alien ships waited. Tall, sharp, and covered in living metal, they stood ready for war. The Gorgonids had awakened. And they were coming. The survivors were still in shock. 17 escape pods drifted in deep space after the attack. They carried the only people left from the USS Horizon. Commander Sarah Vega was one of them. Her pod was running low on air, and the cold of space was starting to bite. She stared at the stars, thinking about the shadow ship, the one that had attacked without warning, without words. Who were they? Why now? And why so deadly? Back on Earth, panic spread. The Galactic Peace Union held an emergency meeting. Alien allies from peaceful worlds gathered in holographic form. Most were shocked by the attack. Some thought it was a mistake. Others warned it was just the beginning. General Marcus Reed didn't wait. "We lost a warship, we lost lives, and we don't even know who hit us," he said to the Earth Council. "We need answers." And we need to hit back if we must. Within 48 hours, a second mission was prepared. Not for science, for battle. Enter the USS Valkyrie. Heavily armed, battle-tested. Crew of 300 trained for war. This time, they would not wait to be attacked. Their mission, find the enemy ... and strike first if needed. On board was Commander Sarah Vega. She had survived the first hit, and now, she was ready to fight back. 3 days later, the Valkyrie reached the Zeta Prime sector. The stars were quiet to quiet. Sensors scanned every corner. And then, they found something. A broken satellite floated near an asteroid field. It was one of Earth's long-range drones, but it had been twisted, melted, almost like it had been crushed by a massive hand. Lieutenant Park zoomed in the cameras. "That's not battle damage," he said slowly. "That looks like organic acid, like the ship was alive," Sarah whispered. The crew stared at her. Before they could speak again, the alarms blared. Unidentified ship approaching. This time, there were 3 of them, sleek, silent, black as space. Gorgonids. But now, Earth had teeth. Battle stations. General Reed's voice echoed from the command chair. "Prepare all weapons." The Valkyrie locked on targets. The alien ships moved fast, zigzagging through space like birds of prey. But this time, humans were ready. Lasers fired. Missiles launched. 2 alien ships were hit hard as spinning out and crashing into the asteroid field. But the third got through. It slammed into the Valkyrie's side, claws tearing at the hull. Yeso claws. This wasn't just a ship. It was alive. The Gorgonid ship latched onto the hull like an insect. Its surface opened like a mouth, and from it came creatures. Tall, armored, with long limbs and glowing eyes. Boarding party. They weren't just at war with ships, they were at war with a species. Inside the Valkyrie, chaos erupted. Sirens screamed. Red lights flashed. Soldiers ran through the halls as the alien intruders spread like wildfire. Sarah grabbed her blaster and led a squad to the engineering bay. When they arrived, 2 crew members were already down, their bodies torn apart. But one Gorgonid remained, standing tall, watching Sarah with cold, glowing eyes. She fired. It didn't fall. It jumped. Fast. Too fast. She dodged, rolled, fired again, this time hitting a weak point in its armor. The alien let out a high-pitched scream and collapsed. It wasn't invincible, but it was close. Hours passed. The battle raged inside and outside the ship. Finally, the humans pushed the invaders back. Explosive charges blew the Gorgonid boarding ship off the hull. One last missile finished it. Silence returned. The Valkyrie was damaged, but still flying. Only 47 casualties this time. But it had become clear. This was no misunderstanding. This was war. Later, in the medbay, Sarah looked at the alien body on the floor. Cold, strange, terrifying. She turned to General Reed. "They didn't come to talk," she said quietly. "They came to end us." Reed nodded. "Then we'll give them a fight they'll never forget." Sarah didn't smile. She knew this was only the beginning. Far across the galaxy, the Gorgonid Queen opened her 6 red eyes. The signal had returned. Humans had resisted. Good. Now. The real war could begin. The Gorgonid corpse lay still on the table. In a cold, silent lab deep inside the USS Valkyrie, scientists and soldiers gathered around it. Bright lights glowed above. Scanners hummed. No one said a word. Commander Sarah Vega stood at the glass, watching the creature that almost killed her. Its skin was hard like armor, but looked grown, not built. Its blood was thick and black. And its eyes, even in death, still glowed faintly red. "This isn't just an alien soldier," whispered Dr. Lin, the chief biologist. "This thing was grown for war." Sarah leaned closer. "What do you mean?" Dr. Lin zoomed in on the scanner. "No organs for eating. No signs of sleep functions, no brain like ours. Just nerves, muscle, and reflexes." She looked at Sarah. "This thing was born to fight, nothing else." Back on Earth, the footage from the Valkyrie's first battle spread like wildfire. People were scared, children were evacuated from outer colonies. Military bases were activated. The Earth Council issued a full defense alert across the solar system. And then, a signal was received. But it wasn't from Earth. It came from a dark moon near the edge of known space, a moon with no name, no colony, and no history. The signal repeated one message: "They are coming. They are not machines. They are not life. They are both." The Valkyrie was sent to the moon immediately. It was called Virex 7, cold, dead, covered in ice. The ship landed in a frozen crater. Sarah, Dr. Lin, and a small team stepped out in thermal suits. They followed the signal through the wind and snow until they found a door, buried under ice. Old. Human, wait. This is Earth tech, said one of the soldiers, brushing snow away. But there's no record of any outpost here. Dr. Lin activated the scanner. It's at least 90 years old. Maybe more. They opened the door and stepped inside. Dark tunnels led them deep underground. The deeper they went, the warmer it got. Strange markings covered the walls, symbols in no known language. Then they found the lab. Lights flickered on as backup power kicked in. Old screens, cracked glass, broken tubes. And inside those tubes were failed clones, some human, some not. Sarah stared in horror. What is this place? Dr. Lin found an old data drive. She wiped dust from the label. Project Hydra, forbidden genetic testing. Shut down. Year 2181. The team watched the video log. A scientist spoke into the camera. His eyes were tired, haunted. We tried to create the perfect soldier. Fast, strong, unstoppable. We mixed human DNA with alien samples found near the outer rim. At first, it worked, but then they changed. They started communicating. Without words, they grew smarter. They built their own structures in secret tunnels. Then, they killed everyone. I'm the last. I've sealed the lab. If anyone finds this, they're out there now. We made a mistake. Sarah felt her stomach drop. The Gorgonids weren't an alien invasion. They were human-made, created by Earth. Forgotten by Earth. And now, returned to destroy Earth. Suddenly, the base shook. The team looked up. Alarms flared on their comms. Commander, enemy ships above. They followed us. Sarah grabbed her rifle. Fall back to the ship. But it was too late. The ice ceiling shattered. Gorgonid warriors dropped into the tunnels like shadows. Screams echoed. Blasters fired. Snow turned black. Sarah, Dr. Lin, and two soldiers escaped through a side tunnel, barely reaching the surface. A rescue shuttle picked them up as the main ship fired down on the enemy, holding them back just long enough. They made it out, but the truth had followed them. Hours later, back aboard the Valkyrie, Sarah looked at the stars. We created them, she whispered. Dr. Lin nodded slowly. And now they've evolved, faster, smarter, angry. Sarah clenched her fists. This isn't just a war anymore. It's a reckoning. Far away, deep in Gorgonid space, the queen rested on her living throne. She placed one clawed hand on a glowing sphere, filled with memory. The human DNA that started it all. The time for secrets was over. The time for vengeance had begun. Earth had no choice now. The truth was out. The Gorgonids, once thought to be aliens, were not strangers from another world. They were Earth's mistake, born from secret science, forgotten in the dark. Now returned with only one goal: destroy their creators. In orbit above Earth, massive warships gathered. The largest human fleet ever assembled. 40-7 battle cruisers, 72 escort destroyers, and 3 massive carriers, each holding thousands of soldiers, mechs, and drones. The mission was clear: take the fight to them. Commander Sarah Vega was now a symbol, the first survivor, the first to fight, the first to learn the truth. General Marcus Reed put her in command of the forward strike team. Their target, a known Gorgonid hive, hidden deep inside a shattered moon in Sector 9. No diplomacy. No scanning. Just war. On board the carrier US Titan, Sarah addressed her team. We didn't ask for this war, she said, her voice strong. But we won't run from it either. The Gorgonids want to erase us. We'll show them. We remember how to fight. The troops cheered. The engines roared. And the fleet jumped into hyperspace. Sector 9. 2 days later, the shattered moon came into view. A massive crater on its surface pulsed with red energy, a Gorgonid hive. Living metal twisted across the rocks like vines. The structure was not built. It had grown. Drones scanned the area. Heat signatures were everywhere. Thousands of Gorgonids were waiting. This was no outpost. This was a fortress. All units, prepare for drop. Came the command. Dozens of drop pods launched from the fleet, crashing down into the moon's surface. Like falling stars, Sarah's pod hit the ground with a boom. Dust and ash exploded around her. She stepped out, rifle ready. Gorgonid warriors rose from the shadows, tall, sharp, silent, and the battle began. Laser fire lit up the sky. Explosions shook the rocks. Human mech stomped forward, blasting everything in sight. Sarah led her squad. Through the chaos, they pushed deeper into the hive. Tunnel by tunnel, room by room, each hallway was alive. The walls pulsed like flesh. The floor shifted under their boots. They built this from organic tech, Dr. Lin said over comms. It's not just a base. It's a body. Suddenly, a screech filled the air. A Gorgonid brute smashed through the wall, twice the size of the others. Armored like a tank. Sarah and her team opened fire, but their shots barely scratched it. It charged. Two soldiers were knocked aside like toys. Sarah grabbed a plasma grenade, ran straight at the beast, and dove underneath it. Boom! The brute collapsed. Twitching. Keep moving, she shouted. They finally reached the core chamber, a glowing heart of red energy surrounded by strange pillars. The air buzzed with heat and noise. This is it, said Sarah. We take this out. The whole hive goes down. They placed charges around the core. Suddenly, the lights dimmed. A low voice echoed through the chamber, but it wasn't from a Gorgonid. It was from the hive itself. You abandoned us. You feared us. Now you will fall by our hands. Sarah froze. There. Speaking through the hive, Dr. Lin nodded. They're connected. All of them. One mind. The walls opened. Dozens of Gorgonids poured in. Sarah shouted, defend the core. A brutal firefight exploded. Humans held the line, but one by one. Soldiers were hit. Some were dragged into the dark. Others kept firing until their weapons overheated. Sarah activated the final charge. Now. The team sprinted out just as the countdown began. 10. 9. 8. Gorgonids chased them through collapsing tunnels. Sarah covered her team, firing behind her as the walls cracked. 3, 2, 1. Boom! The hive erupted. The red glow disappeared. The ground split. The living metal twisted and died. One of their major hives was gone. Earth had struck back. On board the Titan, the fleet celebrated. It was their first real victory. But Sarah didn't smile. She stood at the window, staring into space. If they can build one hive like that, she whispered, they can build 100. Dr. Lin joined her. And they will. Back in Gorgonid space, the Queen received the death signal. She said nothing. Instead, she turned to a wall of living glass. Inside it, thousands of new soldiers were growing. Stronger. Faster. Worse. She opened her claws and whispered in a language older than stars, let them come. Victory didn't last long. The hive on the shattered moon was gone. But it wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. 1 week later, back in Earth's solar system, Titan Base stood strong. A massive human outpost on Saturn's moon, half military, half research, and home to over 15,000 people. After the first attacks, Titan became Earth's forward defense line. No one thought the Gorgonids would reach this far so soon. They were wrong. Commander Sarah Vega stood inside the Titan control tower. She had just returned from the strike mission. Dr. Lin was with her, studying scans of the destroyed hive. These things grow fast, Lin said. Too fast. That hive was barely a year old. Sarah frowned. Then we need to stop the next one before it starts. But before she could speak again, a loud alarm blared across the base. Incoming ships. Lots of them. Radar screens lit up. One enemy ship. Then 5. Then 20-3. And they weren't alone. New shapes. Bigger. Stranger. A second wave of Gorgonid evolution. Faster. Smarter. More deadly. General Marcus Reed arrived at the tower. His face was pale. We've got less than 15 minutes, he said. We hold the line. No retreat. Sarah's voice was calm, but her hands clenched. We'll fight. But we need to get the civilians out. Now, Reed nodded. Evacuation. In progress. You lead the defense. Within minutes, the sky above Titan turned black. The Gorgonids were here. From orbit, living ships rained fire down on the base. Beams of red energy melted steel. Drones swarmed. Shields cracked. Titan Base's defense cannons fired back rows of plasma guns, railguns, and missile launchers, but there were too many. Sarah ran through the base, directing troops, incoming. At Hangar 3, hold Sector 9, don't let them inside. Explosions shook the ground. A tower collapsed nearby, sending smoke and fire into the sky. The outer wall failed. Gorgonid warriors flooded in. Claws, teeth, screams. Soldiers fought with everything they had. Sarah's squad was cut in half in minutes. Still, they pushed back. Still, they fought. Inside the medbay, Dr. Lin worked fast. Not just saving lives, but preparing something dangerous, a virus. Engineered to attack Gorgonid tissue. This isn't tested, she said to herself, but if it works, we might have a chance. She uploaded the formula to the central system and set it to broadcast, hoping it would spread through Titan's air and weaken the enemy. It was a gamble, a desperate one. Meanwhile, Sarah and her team were surrounded near the central core, out of ammo, wounded, cornered. A Gorgonid brute approached, dragging a soldier by the leg. Sarah stood up, ready to die standing. Suddenly, the brute twitched. It screamed, then it collapsed. So did another. And another. Dr. Lin's virus was working, but not fast enough. From the sky came a massive shape, a queen ship, twice as large as the others. Covered in spikes, its body pulsed with red light. It fired a massive beam at the power core. Titan base went dark, backup lights flickered on. The main reactor was destroyed. Reed's voice crackled over comms, all units, evacuate now. Titan is lost. Sarah didn't want to leave, not yet. Not like this, but she had no choice. She helped her injured team to the nearest DROPS HIP.S. They lifted off. She looked down at the burning base. Titan, Earth's proudest outpost, was falling. From orbit, human ships began retreating. Thousands made it out. Thousands didn't. Later, aboard the USS Valkyrie, Sarah stood with Dr. Lin in silence. The base was gone, but the virus worked, at least for now. The enemy was hurt. Reed joined them, bruised and quiet. We lost Titan, he said. But not the war. Sarah nodded. We hit them, they bled. That means they can be beaten. Dr. Lin looked up. If we can learn faster, then they can evolve. We have a chance. Far in deep space, the Gorgonid queen watched Titan burn through her mind link. Her new children, stronger, immune to the virus, were already growing. She hissed one word into the void: Earth. The war was just beginning. Mars was the last stronghold. After the fall of Titan base, the Gorgonid forces moved fast. Earth's outer colonies were destroyed one by one. No survivors. No signals. The enemy didn't want peace, they wanted erasure, now. All that stood between Earth and the Gorgonid swarm was Mars Command Base Delta, the largest military fortress ever built off-world, protected by energy shields, orbital guns, and 5 heavy destroyers. It was meant to be impossible to break. But the Gorgonids had evolved. Again. Commander Sarah Vega, General Marcus Reed, and Dr. Lin had just arrived on Mars. The mood was heavy. Soldiers didn't speak much. Civilians had been moved underground. Everyone knew what this battle meant. If we lose Mars, said Reed quietly, we lose Earth. Sarah looked out from the high walls of the command tower. Thousands of troops prepared for war. Mechs lined the outer field. Artillery pointed at the sky. Drones buzzed in formation like flocks of metal birds. Everyone was ready, but no one was calm. Dr. Lin worked inside the lab. The virus she created on Titan had failed. The Gorgonids were already immune to it, but she was trying something new. She called it Echo Dust, a nanotech mist that could scan and copy Gorgonid neural patterns in real time. It won't kill them, she said, but it'll teach us how they think, and maybe how to break their hive mind. Sarah nodded. We'll buy you the time you need. The warning alarm screamed through the base. Enemy ships incoming. Thousands of signals. The sky over Mars darkened. The Gorgonid fleet was here. And this time, they brought everything. The battle began before the first ship even touched the ground. Orbital cannons fired at incoming hostiles, lighting up the sky with massive explosions. Destroyers hovered in orbit, blocking attacks with energy shields and returning fire with railguns. But the Gorgonid ships didn't slow down. They pushed through the fire, and then they dropped the new ones. Gorgonid Titans. Biomechanical giants, walking tanks. Each one the size of a tower, covered in armor. Surrounded by swarms of smaller warriors, they hit the ground like meteors. And they didn't stop. Sarah and her unit were in Sector 4 when the first Titan landed. The shockwave knocked down buildings. She saw the beast, 20 meters tall, its face a mask of bone and steel. She shouted, "Focus fire, hit the joints." But their weapons barely scratched it. One Titan crushed a mech with one swing. Another fired a spike cannon from its chest, ripping a transport in half. Still, the humans fought back. Missiles hit weak spots, mechs slowed them down, and finally, with a direct hit from a railgun, one Titan fell, only for more to go. Inside the lab, Lin released the Echo Dust into the battlefield using drones. Tiny silver clouds floated over the Gorgonids. Some stopped, Some screamed. Others went berserk, attacking their own. We're inside their minds, Lynn whispered. They don't know how to block it yet, but her celebration was short. A Gorgonid creature, shaped like a serpent with wings, burst through the ceiling of the lab. It hissed. Lynn froze. She had no weapon, but she had time. She smashed her hand into the control panel and uploaded all Echo Dust data to the fleet's mainframe. Then the creature struck. Sarah heard the explosion from the tower. No. Minutes later, the command tower shook. Reed shouted, "The line's breaking in sectors 3, 5, and 9. We need to retreat to fallback zones." Sarah didn't move. She stared at Mars burning through the tower's window. Too many losses. Too many friends gone. And Earth was next. But then, her comms crackled. "This is Earth Fleet Command. Reinforcements inbound. ETA to 60 seconds. Above Mars, a hyperspace gate opened. Earth's reserve fleet, over 100 ships strong, poured out of it, firing everything they had. Laser cannons, EMPs, kinetic warheads. The sky exploded in light. One by one, the Gorgonid ships fell. Sarah smiled for the first time in days. We're not done yet. As the dust settled, the surviving Gorgonid titans retreated. The remaining forces fled into orbit, back into the dark. The battle was over. Mars still stood, but barely. Later that night, Sarah stood beside Dr. Lynn's memorial, a small plaque. "A quiet corner. She gave us a way to fight back," Sarah whispered. "Now it's our turn." In the depths of space, the Gorgonid Queen felt something strange. Fear. The humans weren't weak anymore. They had changed, they had learned, and they were coming. It had been 6 months since the fall of Titan. Since the battle on Mars. Since the humans changed. The war had reached every corner of space. Planets burned, fleets vanished, cities fell, but so did hives. So did Gorgonid warships. The tide was turning. Earth had one final plan. Not just defense. Victory. A single mission, deep into Gorgonid space. A strike at the heart of the hive mind. The target, the Gorgonid Queen, Commander Sarah Vega, stood aboard the USS Resolute, Earth's newest and most advanced ship. Built from human tech, upgraded with Echo Dust AI, and fueled by lessons written in blood. General Marcus Reed stood beside her. "This is it," he said. "No more retreats, no more hiding. We end it now." They weren't alone. Mars survivors, fleet veterans, scientists, engineers, soldiers from every nation, even some peaceful alien allies from the Galactic Union had joined, afraid they'd be next if the Gorgonids won. The Resolute led a fleet of 300 ships into dark space. No comms, no support. Just coordinates, taken from Dr. Lynn's last transmission before her death. They called it the Void Nest. When they arrived, space itself looked broken, floating rocks, dead planets, strange energy storms. And in the center, a massive structure like a black star, glowing red from deep inside. The Gorgonid homeworld. Half organic, half machine, fully alive. The Queen was waiting. Thousands of Gorgonid ships swarmed the sky, larger, faster, mutated beyond anything seen before, but the humans were ready. Earth's fleet fired first. Echo Dust enhanced weapons, struck with perfect accuracy. Neural jammas disrupted the hive mind. The sky lit up with war. Sarah and her team took a stealth dropship into the Queen's lair. Inside, the walls pulsed. The air buzzed with psychic energy. Whispers filled their ears. "It's speaking to us," one soldier said. "No," Sarah replied. "It's trying to scare us." They pressed on. One by one, her squad fell, ambushed, crushed, sacrificed. Until only Sarah and 2 others remained. They reached the Queen's chamber. She was massive, a towering figure of metal and bone. Dozens of eyes, wings of flesh. Her voice came not from her mouth, but from inside their heads. "You made us, then you left us. Now you return to kill your children." Sarah stepped forward. "We didn't come to talk." She raised the final weapon, a compact device glowing with blue light. The Hive Breaker, made from Lynn's last research. The Queen lunged. The others held her off, sacrificing themselves in seconds. Sarah ran toward the center of the chamber. She was hit, clawed, bleeding, but she kept going. She slammed the Hive Breaker into the ground and activated it. A wave of blue light burst out. Echo Dust scattered. Neural frequencies shattered. The Queen screamed, not in pain, but in panic. Across the galaxy, Gorgonids collapsed. Ships lost control. Hives fell silent. The link was gone. The mind was broken. Sarah collapsed beside the device, breathing hard, bleeding out, but smiling. From orbit, General Reed saw the red glow fade from the Queen's world. Silence. Then cheers. Across every ship. Every colony, every base. It was over. 3 days later, Earth declared Victory Day. The first interstellar war had ended. Humanity had survived. Sarah Vega was never found, but her name was written in history. Statues, memorials, streets. People spoke of her like a legend. And far, far away, in a quiet corner of the galaxy, one small Gorgonid pod drifted silently in space. A single egg floated inside. Still, quiet. Watching. Waiting. Because peace is earned, but never permanent.